right, now we're going to work on the back side of this page, and I did make an error. I told you 2 inches, but it's 1 7/8 inch from the corner that I'd cut that diagonal. It's on your cutting guide, so I did want to show you where I made the correction on the cutting guide, and you can cut that correctly. Then here I've got page 7. This is page 7 on the back of page 6. So here's my page 6, here's page 7. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull page 7, oopsie, as I knock over my table. I'm going to have this background piece here. Now, I did not cut this the right size. I ran out of paper. So I used an extra piece here to make it the right size. And I was going to show you how that could work to your benefit. So to add paper in the same color, what I do is I take Scotch tape. Let me get a little piece here. And I use Post-it note tape to put it in the right spot. Then I flip it over to the back and I use Scotch tape to hold that in place so that when I glue this down, it's going to be perfect. You will hardly notice it by the time I get the pockets on there. So I can take this off now and I can glue this down. It's always helpful, I think, for me to share with you some of the tricks and tips of how to make your paper go further, especially when you're limited to a specific collection. All right, now I'm going to glue this down onto here. Good. And burnish it. And again, this mat's cut like the others at 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And then, in addition to that, we have 2 pockets. We have this pocket, and we have this pocket. And we're going to make that pocket, and then make this one on top of that one. So, I'm going to burnish these folds. So I can make my pocket. You guys certainly know how to make pockets now, don't you? All right, then I'm going to cut my X, like we've done so many times. Miter the top, cut my X again, miter my top. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to take my double stick tape or glue, whichever you want to do. I prefer glue, but on camera it's so much faster for me to use the tape, and it holds so I can continue showing you the pieces. So I'm going to tape this down, tape this piece here, and tape this one, burnish it. Okay, and I'm going to take the piece that I've cut to go on top of it. This is cut to, I believe, 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to glue it down on top of that before I pull off the backing of my tape. I'm going to place this down and glue it in place. Good. Again, burnish. All right. Now I'm going to take the other pocket, score these. These are scored, I'm sorry, and burnish down these edges. And again, cut on my X. Miter my corners. Take the adhesive, whether it be tape or glue, and I'm going to put that on there. And put it here. And again, before I put that down, I've cut this, and you know, this was cut from one of the pieces, and I used it at 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. That's what I cut to go on there. So if you want the other side, you're welcome to use it, or another piece. We'll get that on there. I just thought this was a pretty pocket piece. Let me scoot it up a little bit. Excellent. Perfect. Now, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to attach it on here. And I can attach it wherever I like. If you want to go up higher, you can. If you want to go lower and put another pocket up here, I'm going to overlap them. So I'm going to score this extra tight along that crease so it goes nice and flat. Okay, peel this off. Stick this on. I'm going to go right about here, I believe. Kind of in the center of the paper. And of course, I'm getting it crooked, so I'm trying to straighten it as I go. There we go. I think it's still crooked. That would figure. There we go. Now I got it straight. Burnish it hard so it'll stay on there. And then I'm going to take the bottom pocket, do the same thing. If you take the point of your burnishing tool and run it along that crease, it will make it a tighter fit. Okay. Now I'm going to layer this on top. And I'm going to kind of stagger it up just a hair there. Oh, that's pretty, guys. Isn't that pretty? And then I pulled off some of the stickers in pink. There were a variety of them. And you can add those where you like. I'm going to stick one here. I'm going to stick some little flowers, I think, in this corner down here. So it gives it more of a three-dimensional look. Isn't that pretty? Maybe one more down there. And I could put one up here in this area. I don't know. It really doesn't need it, but I'm going to put one right there. Now, that is page 7. Isn't that pretty? Now let's do the opposite page, which is this one. And we're going to take page, oh, I almost forgot, the Grow Happy Thoughts sticker. I almost forgot to put it on there. I'm going to put it in the middle there. Isn't that pretty? All right, that's page 7. Now for page 8. And the reason why you don't hear me very well when I turn around, the trays are behind me with all my pieces on them. All right, so for page 8, again, we're going to pull a signature. Here we are with this one. This is our page 8 and page 9. So we're going to make sure it opens on our left-hand side. We're going to be attaching our printed paper on the front here. And I want to make sure I've got it scored correctly. I use the tidbits that are not perfect in my videos so that you guys get the better ones. There we are. Now I'm going to put that like that. I'm just looking at it for the moment. And I'm going to use a card on it. And I'm going to use a belly band. Now the belly band is not, you can attach it under this if you wish. Okay, or you can attach it on top. I am going to attach it on top of this. And I'm going to attach a piece of paper on top of that. And I've got a panel that's going to go on the front as well. So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is adhere this down to our page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you want to put it underneath this, the little belly band, you can. But it looks really cute the way I'm getting ready to show you. Again, the page signature is opening to the left. My writing is correct. I'm happy about that. Okay. Now, I'm going to be adding a note card, so I want my belly band to be up high enough that my note card will be off of the bottom, okay? So that's where I'm going to put mine, and I'm going to take a pencil again and kind of mark it so I know where I'm going to be putting it. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to adhere these little pieces down. I like to miter these as well, so I'm going to miter them. And I'm going to use glue to put these down because they're very lightweight. They only have a 3/8 inch flap size. So I'm going to put a piece here. I'm sorry, I'm going to put some glue there and some glue here. I'm going to hold it with my fingers like that. And then place it in the center of the page where I want to position it. And I'm going to burnish that down just a smidgen. Any excess glue, wipe it off. That looks great. Now I'm going to test it. Let's slide our card in there and see how it works. Just to make sure I didn't glue anything together. Perfect. Now I'm going to take this little piece of paper here and glue it on top of that to give it a finishing look. Dum, da, da, dum. Yes, I haven't done sound effects the whole video so far. I guess I can hold off doing them for a while. All right, and then this I'm going to pop up. I'm going to glue this down to it, and then I'm going to pop this panel up. So I'm going to glue this meadow flowers down. Making sure I use the linen side. There's not going to be a white edge on the sides. It's only going to be on the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to take some double stick mounting foam and secure the back of this. There and there. One little piece there should hold it. And I'm going to put this kind of centered where it will drop down just a little bit there. That looks great. Now, I wanted to share with you a tip that I really enjoy using. I've got a card here, and I don't have any paper left in my collection that's the right size to fit this. So what I did was I took one of my 6x8 sheets, okay, and I wanted to pick part of this pretty scene to go on this card, okay? And to do that, I've got to cut it, and it needs to be cut to 4 5/8 by 3 7/8. Now that's hard to do when you're trying to see what would look pretty on there. So what I do is I use a piece of acetate, take a black marker and edge it, and I write the measurement down. That fits this perfectly. And then I can lay my little window sheet down and determine what I would like to see on my note card. Isn't that great? You can kind of get an idea. So I think I'm going to go with this right there. So I'm going to take my pencil, outline it. And you can use a trimmer, or you can use a pair of scissors to cut this out. Because I'm in a hurry, I'm going to use scissors, which means it won't be cut exactly. I know, but we're on camera, so I don't expect anything to be cut perfectly. And if you make a mistake with your trimming and you cut it badly, just distress the edges with a little bit of ink, and that covers up pretty much everything. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here. It would have been much prettier to use a trimmer, but you guys get the general idea. I'm going to have to cut it just a little more there because I sure did butcher that bottom edge. Okay, that's good enough. Now, see, it'll go on my card and be a pretty little scene. And I use that window of acetate paper, and I save those. I have a file of them, and I use them frequently for any time I'm cutting out something to go on a card, an album, or something like that. And we're just going to burnish that down. Excellent. And we're going to stick it inside of our page number 8 belly band, and voila, we have page 8 done. So here's page 7 and page 8. Now we're ready to proceed on the back side with page 9. To do page 9, again, let me get rid of that paper. On page 9, it's a pretty purple mirror image look. We have one flap that's going to go under our background, another flap that's going to go under this background. So we're going to get out page 9, page 9 and page 10. Here's page 9, and again, that's going to be the back of page 8. And before I put this background down, you received a flap, and that flap looks like this, okay? It's already scored, so you're going to fold it on that score line. You're going to round those corners, and this is going to be what it looks like. So I went ahead and did mine so that I could zip through the video, okay? And I'm going to put this flap not on this side, but on this side, right here. And I'm not going to put it all the way to the edge. I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch. Okay? So I'm going to glue that down in place or tape it. And in this case again, I'm going to go ahead and tape. Okay. And I'm going to glue it or tape it down with an 1/8 inch border. And I cut myself making supper. I'm sorry, I've got a little nick on my finger. Hope I don't get any blood on everything. That's just the way today is gone. I'm going to take my pretty purple paper and I'm going to attach it on top of that flap that I attached down. So there's where it's sealed down. Here's what I'm going to attach on top. So I'll go ahead and glue that. This makes such a pretty page. And it's so easy. Now I'm going to take it, stick it down to where it kind of snugs up next to that flap. Perfect. And there you go. There's our flap. Now, you can cut a piece of paper to go on top of that. I chose a blue one this time. It's cut to 3 7/8. I think, no, wait. Is this it? Page 9? Yeah, the flap mat is 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. And I'm going to round the corners on this side as well. As soon as I find my corner rounder. Good, and now it'll look a little bit better. So I'm going to glue that in place. That page would have been pretty too. Wish I'd seen that first. I would have switched it. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to glue this down. Try to get it straight. And then the little banner that goes on top of that is very simple. It's a piece of white linen, and we're going to pop it up on the page. I cut out this little banner from the paper collection, okay? And you can either trim it down more or you can leave it as is. I'm going to trim it just a hair. There we go. And glue that onto my linen paper there. Excellent. And I'm going to pop that up on my flap. So let me get a piece of double stick mounting foam, put that on here, and I'm just going to adhere it to right about here. That really ties the two colors together, doesn't it? And then we have some stickers that we can add to it. I used the Wonder to put on here because I thought it was appropriate. And I used a purple butterfly up in the corner here. And some pretty Queen Anne's lace to go down here below the flap. If you want to put other stickers, you can. I had the little word of wildflowers, and I'm going to stick it right in the middle of that. I thought it would be pretty there. Isn't that gorgeous? And that is page 9. And if you want to add other things, there's a real pretty tag. You could make a pocket to go in there and add this to match or blend, however you wish to do it. Now for page 10, it's the following one, using the last of the signature pieces that we have. This will be for page 10. It's going to go like that. So we're going to open it from the side of the left, and we're going to add to it, again, the same thing, our purple, our flap, and again, you've got one that I'm going to try to show you. See the score line there? You're going to score. You're going to go ahead and burnish that down and make a flap and then round these corners. And this is what you're going to do. That's going to be inserted on the opposite side. See, they're going to be mirror images, so you want to put it on this side. Now, just to be safe that I centered this correctly, I'm going to lay my two signatures together. Okay. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark where my flap is on the first page. That way, when I get ready to attach this one, I can attach this exactly the same height on the other page. So I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see it clearly. Hold up my little edges and mount that onto, well, actually just pull it up a little bit, 1/8 of an inch. I hope that's close. I think I stuck it down just a hair off, but that's okay. Alrighty, and then this is going to glue on top of it to look like that. So we're going to go ahead and glue that in place. Okay. Perfect. And then on top of that flap itself, I used I was looking to see which one I chose to do. I ended up deciding to not do, oh, here it is, to do the same thing with the, I ended up deciding to do the same thing with the blue here, and then to use the little banner pieces in the decorative paper. So let me go ahead and glue this down. You can tell it's getting late. I'm getting crazy. I can't do my videos during the day because of our dog. You wouldn't be able to hear a word I said. Okay. Now, while I'm thinking about it, I want to go back and erase those pencil marks. Okay. And these I cut out from the decorative paper, and I'm going to glue 2 of them flat. So I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do the green on the backs. And I'm going to glue the green one down first, and I'm going to glue it right there on top of the blue. Then I'm going to glue the yellow one down, and I'm going to glue it right about, I don't know, I may go down a little further. Yeah, right there. Let me go over. Okay. Then I'm going to take the pink and the purple ones and pop those up. So once again, we're going to get some of this out. And we're just going to do it like that. And a little overlap like that. Then take some of your stickers. It looks like bluebells, but they're purple. Stick it on there. A little purple heart. You know, I think I'm going to put it right there. And then one that says the little things. And I'm going to put it right there. So there is page 10. So we have 9 and 10 that are complementary to each other. That looks great, doesn't it? Okay, so now we're going to do page 11. Page 11 opens from the right. Page 11 is going to be this page. So we're going to pull out page 11 now. And on page 11, I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. We have a yellow background that's going to go on there. We have a pretty piece of this, and we have this. We have some stickers and things. So for the video, I left one together so I could show you how I made this. But this is the pocket that I used for this. And if you look on your cutting guide, page 11, it tells you to cut a 4x6 piece of paper. This is 4x6, okay? I didn't think that one looked right. I don't know why it was in there. Okay, you take a 4x6 piece of paper, and then what you do is you cut it at an angle. So I cut this way. Now that gives me another piece that same direction because they're opposite each other. And I'm going to be attaching that on there. So all I need to do here is attach this piece. I love that page. That's why I made it the cover of the book. Attach it here. Take this piece, and we're going to attach it. Boy, I do like that yellow on there, though, don't you? That's really pretty. Oh, I'm tempted. I'm tempted, but I'll go ahead and do the butterfly. I'm torn. Those are both beautiful pieces. Okay. I'm going to put this one a little higher up. Okay. Take my daisy piece that says, love you. Put that on. Glue everywhere. Hang on. Emergency. Okay, you like my rag? Do you know where it came from? The end of my sleeve. Yeah. It was a long sleeve t-shirt that I got at Scrapping with the Girls retreat. And I'll be honest with you, I don't do long sleeves, so I cut it off. Voila. Now we're going to take this, and here's what you're going to have to do for this. You're going to have to cut your little X like you normally do, but up here you're going to cut at an angle to the tip. Then you're going to cut another angle from the bottom. Okay, you cut down this way and you cut this way. So it was originally like this, and I cut away this, and I cut away this, and I cut away the corner. All right, now I'm going to burnish those back. Excellent. Now, if you didn't get enough trimmed off and it's showing, go back and trim it again. Okay? And now I'm going to take my tape again. Put my tape on here. I'm going to cut a small piece to go on that edge so that it will actually line up with that point. So it'll hold it securely. If I can get it down. Now pull the backing off. And stick it down anywhere you want. I'm going to put it a little lower right here. Then I cut a 2x2 piece to go here. And what I'm going to do is take that and leave it over the edge just a bit. Or if that bothers you, you can trim that off. I like it, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to glue it down. Of course, I'm not gluing that little itty-bitty piece there because I don't want it to stick down. And then I'm going to take my pretty pieces of stickers, and I'm trying to decide, you know what? Instead of using this one here, I think I'm going to use this sticker. I don't know if I can now that I tore it, but I like that better. Let's use that. And I'll put a little flower down here to mask my mistake. I think I'll put a little bumblebee on my daisy. And another flower right about there. And one here. And a little heart. And that's going to be what I do with it. I like that. If you want to go with this one, you certainly can. But I think the stickers really add to it. So that's page 11. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 all completed. Now that we've got our signatures ready, let's go ahead and add these to our book before we put anything down so we can make sure that we get these in nicely. I'm going to start with the back one. And I will be honest with you, this will work best if you use a combination of tape and glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my double stick tape. I'm going to put it down through here. I'm going to burnish it well. Okay? I'm going to put it on the other side as well. So I'm doing this on the inside of my pages, laying it nice and flat. You with me? This is the inside. Right here's 11. Here's 10. We're going to burnish those down. Let me try to get some of this out of the way. Okay. Now, before you attach them, you're going to go into your book here and you're going to miter the gusset. So you're going to cut a sliver off of each of these little joints. See how I'm doing that? I'm cutting an angle. And then I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to do the bottom the same way. Now you're probably saying, why are you doing that? Well, and this is going to be my front. Yeah. The reason why I am doing that is because I want this to be free of showing the gusset when you stick these together. Okay? And I'm going to take the first side, which is number 11. I'm going to put some glue on here on my tape. And I'm not going to put so much that it squirts out, because if I do that, it's going to not fold over. So I'm going to lay it down right at that edge. Let me pull in close. I'm going to lay it down right at that edge here, making sure I've got my page straight in the book. This is the most important thing. If you don't have it straight right here, so that it's straight across the top and straight across the bottom, the rest of your pages will not line up, okay? So I'm going to burnish this down and pray I've got it perfectly right. Excellent. See, there is a small amount showing, but you'll never notice it when we get everything in there. You're not wanting to put it all the way down at that edge of the crease. You're wanting to pull it up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to run it down the tape. Okay. Got a little bit too much there. Okay, and I'm going to allow this to fold over. Now my page will lay flat. Easy peasy. Wipe off any excess glue, and let's move on to the next page. We're going to be attaching this one next. So we're going to open it up. And again, I'm going to put my tape down. This is going to get boring for you, I know. I'm going to put my tape down. Get another piece up here. Good. Burnish. Peel it off. Put that one back on, because that's not the one we're going to put on first. Okay, so we're going to put this side first, the back to the front, remember? So the purple's on the back. Put my glue on there. reinforcing it there. Scoot this over and lay this down. Now, here's the key. Line it up directly on top of that other page. If you got it straight, this should work brilliantly, okay? So hold it in place once you get it lined up exactly on top of that other page. Looks good. Now I'm going to tilt it up just a smidgen and lay that over. Oh, my flap keeps catching and moving it. Try it again. All right. If I got it on top. Okay, I'm going to lay this flap over on it. I'm not centered. Hold that flap so it won't catch it. Perfect. Lay that down. Burnish it good. Yep, that looks great. This takes a little bit of practice, so don't get scared. If it doesn't look perfect the first time you do it, it will look better when you get everything in there. And now I'm going to lay this one over on top of it. Oh, that's looking nice and straight. I took out the note card so I could move it. Okay, good. See, now we got it coming along. Now I'm going to take this one and insert it here. So, again, move this out of the way. I'm going to pull this insert out too. Stick my tape down. The more pages you have, the harder this gets, but with this many, you shouldn't have too terribly much trouble. Now, I'm going to pull this one off again, the left side, because that's going to be the first side that I put down. Put my glue on there. And take my book, put it back in there. Line it up once again with my gusset. Line it up with the pages. Oh, that looks fabulous. And lay that over. Perfect. Burnish that. Now we're going to do this page. You could have put it on your spine, but I'll be honest with you, that's the hardest thing in the world for me to get it straight. I have a terrible time with that. This has always worked well for me. Each person that makes books does it differently. But to be honest, I've had good luck with this method. And it lays in there nice and flat. Look how straight our pages are. See, they're coming out nice. Okay. Next will be this one. So we're going to be attaching our mirror image here. So I'm going to pull this out of the way again. Do this. I'm getting quite a collection of trash over here. I'm going to have to stop and unload my trash in a minute. There we go. Trim off that little excess. Okay. I'll put it right there. And then add some more. All right. If you don't burnish these on, it is going to come apart. You have to make sure that these are down good. Oh, and I didn't mean to do that again. Remember, we leave that one on until we get the other one done so we don't stick anything that we shouldn't. You almost let me forget. All right. put my glue on. Okay. Pull my book back in here. Make sure I've got the right page down. Okay. And then I'm going to line this up with my pages. Press. That looks pretty darn good, guys. All right. Excellent. Outstanding. That one looks perfect. Okay. Now we can take this off and add the adhesive again. Here's some glue. Bend this one over. I'm going to pull my page up just a bit before I completely secure it because it's getting a little bit of a hump there. And I want to make sure it's nice and straight. Oh, that's perfect. And of course, our last one's going to be the blue page next to that, and that will be the front page. So we'll pull this out of the way and do the same thing for the last time. Excellent. Again, don't touch that one. Burnish these down, and then this one's a little harder to burnish because you got the flowers on the front. We're going to attach the left side again first, and we're going to put our glue on there. And for the last time, we're going to line it up with our pages. I'm going to hold it up just a bit once I line it up. I'm going to make sure I get it lined up good. And then press it down. Yes, that looks good. And now we're going to glue this one. And this will be our final signature insert. Pressing it down good. I got a little bit of tape showing, but that's okay. It won't show in a minute. Now, I'm going to take my burnishing tool and go down the middle of each one and make sure those are all well attached. And look at that. They look perfect. And when you look from the end, they're even. When you look down from the top, the pages are even. Excellent job, guys. Now, I'm still going to put these out of the way. These are the inserts because I've got a lot of work to do yet, and I don't want them in the way. So I've got the pages done. We can forget about those for a moment. If you go back to your construction pack that you originally got, packet 1, you're going to find in it the piece that we need for covering the front and the back of the pockets. Before you insert those down, though, we do need to add the ribbons for the front and the back. So in your construction pack, you were given ribbon to use, and I've got those measurements for you to cut it on in your guide as well. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to find, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this trash because I can't find anything. There we go. Now there's my ruler. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to mark the center. See, trash is stuck to the ruler. All right, it is 7 3/4, so 3 5/8 is what we're going to, 3 7/8 is what we're going to need to go with. So I'm going to mark right here. 3 7/8 is the center. 3 7/8 is the center. I don't want to do it at the very edge because it'll show. There we go. So my ribbon is going to attach at the front and the back at that point, okay? So we're going to take some double stick tape now. We're going to put a piece here. And of course I covered up my marking. I'll try not to do that over here. All right. And I'm going to pull the backing off. You can see the ribbon edge there, or the mark there. And I'm going to stick my ribbon, and I can see the mark through it, so I can get the middle of it. And I'm going to do that on the back side. Now, I did that here because we're going to do this piece first. I don't want to pull off the stickiness off the front one just yet, but we've got it marked and ready to go. Now I'm going to take my linen piece that came in my construction pack that's already pre-cut for the cover here, and I'm going to attach it. And I'm not on camera even. It's because I'm out of room. I had a big 8-foot table that was really wide that I did all my videos on, and I needed it in another area, so I ended up moving to a 4-foot table that's 24 inches wide. And let me tell you, big difference. It's hard to film with everything on the desk. I think I'll fix that before I do the next one. Okay, and I'm just attaching this down on top of the ribbon to where I can bend it. So you want to make sure you scoot it over enough that it's not catching on your fold. Okay? It's going to come all the way over to the edge almost. Then burnish that down. Oh, this is looking pretty. Then on page 12, you have in your packet another pocket that we're going to make right now. We're going to first start by cutting our little miters. Oh, I missed that one. And do this. Okie doke. I'm sorry the videos have been so long. They have to be, though, because it's a mini album and there's a lot of instruction and a lot of pages to do. And I wanted to decorate them with you this time. Alrighty. And now that we've got the white linen piece down, we're going to put our yellow piece on top of that. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and glue this one in place. Stick it down. Lovely. Put some tape on my pocket. Again, you can glue, you can tape, whatever you're happier with. Since I'm flying through this book, I'm using the fastest thing possible. Okay. All right, now I made a boo-boo and I've cut it out of the video, and I'm going to restart from here. I took my pocket and I folded it, burnished it, put some glue on it and tape, and I stuck it down before I had everything done, okay? Because before you put it down, you're going to make what I call a pocket cap. And I'm going to show you what that is. That's a piece of paper like this that I've scored for you. You're going to actually take it, burnish that over, take your hole punch, and on the side that's wider, not your hole punch, but your corner rounder, on the side that's wider, I want you to round those little corners there, like that, okay? Then I want you to take your hole punch And I've got to find a hole punch to do this. I have a whole drawer of hole punches. Do I have one the size I want? Probably not. Oh, this one may or may not work. It's an old one. I'm going to lay this inside like that. See how it kind of overlaps on the front? All right. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to find the center of this. And you can mark it with a ruler. And I apologize. I messed it up by doing my page like that. But I'm going to find the center of it. So it's going to be 2.5, 2 and 7, 2.5, 2 7/8 is the center, I believe. Let me make sure. It's right at 2. All right. So we got 2.5. All right. So at 2 5/8 is the center. So I'm going to mark it here and here. Looks good to me. And I'm going to punch a hole here. And I'm going to punch a hole here. See? Then you take your little piece of white ribbon. I know we gave you plenty of it. See if I have a piece out here. Cut it at a diagonal so it'll go through the holes easily. And I'm going to hold all this together. I got ahead of myself a second ago. I'm sorry. I don't normally do that, but that's okay. Didn't hurt a thing. Just made a mess of my page, but I can cover it up with no problem. And I'm running the ribbon through it. And when I designed this, I had in mind calling this like a pocket cap because it'll hold your ribbon in place without glue. So I can pull it on out a little bit there, equal it up. All right, I'm going to leave it just like that. Now I'm going to put some tape or glue on my pocket. I'm using glue because I've already pulled the tape off. And I'm going to stick this back down to my page. You'll never even know I made that boo-boo. Excellent. If it were straight, it'd be better. And then burnish that in place. I've already burnished it once, but we're going to do it again now. Good deal. I'm going to erase. Okay, don't glue the ribbon in. I'm going to erase that little pencil mark in the middle. I'm going to pull it down just a smidgen and then tie a bow right here. And that makes a nice little pocket. As soon as my glue dries, it'll stay there nicely. Now, I did do a piece of the decorative paper to put as an insert there. And I wanted to add a little bit of a sticker to it. But the sticker I liked was a little too long, so I'm going to cut off part of it here and stick it right about there. And then I'm going to add some wording. I'm going to add it up here. What do you think? Pretty, isn't it? Makes for a pretty, pretty page. All right, so we've got page 12 done. Now let's go to page 1 and repeat that same thing and hopefully not make the same mistake again. So let's start with getting out some more of the white ribbon because I'm going to have to put a piece on the front. Cutting that off, okay. And I'm going to put it right here. Let me move some of this out of the way. This is the other book. And I'm going to put my piece right there. Trim that a little so it won't puff up. Now I'm going to take my linen cardstock and put it back down over that, making sure I allow the bend. Keep going off camera, sorry. And stick this down. I'm going to put it really close to the edge because I don't want anything to interfere with that fold. That looks really good. Excellent. Now we're going to do the same thing again on this one. We're going to take our pocket piece, and we're not going to attach it before we actually put our pocket cap on. I'm going to do the same thing again just to make sure we're clear. So I'm going to go over here, and on my little piece that I have for the pocket cap on the side that's wide, I'm going to cut my little corners with a corner rounder. I'm going to score that over. Nice and tight. Good. I'm going to score and burnish these. Well, actually, I've already scored them. I don't know why I keep saying that. I'm going to burnish these down. Good. And now I need to put that mat on there, and we're going to be using a green mat here. So I'm going to go ahead and decide which way I think's up. Glue that on. If in doubt, look on the back of the page. The back side has writing, and you know they have to be the same direction. So I'm going to put this on here. Good. I'm going to take my double stick tape, and I'm going to put that on my flaps, but I'm not peeling this off yet because I'm going to put my cap on. So I'm just getting the pocket ready to attach when I get ready to do it. Good. Now, before I finish my little pocket here, I'm going to go up here, and if you'll notice, this is going to overlap, the pocket's going to overlap it. So don't worry, we're going to go ahead and attach this down right now onto the top of the page. Get that little piece of paper out of the way. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it right now. And I put it kind of far over. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I'm going to move it because I think I put it too close to that edge. And it's not too late. There we go. That's a whole lot better. Good. Now when I lay the pocket over it, see, it'll have the right amount of room. Excellent. So now I'm going to put my cap on here, mark it again with a ruler. Do you remember what the measurements were? They were 2 5/8, I believe, weren't they? Yep. So we're going to do 2 5/8 here. Turn it around and do 2 5/8 here. Well, that was the middle. Haha. So I'm going to mark here and here as the places to put the holes. Punch holding it all together tightly. Then punch through all of the layers. Make sure it's nice and straight. This is why I gave you a hole punch that was really good in your kit. It's a lot better than this one that I'm using. This one's at least 30 years old. Oh, I laughed so loud the dog woke up. All right, now I'm going to erase that little mark. Now I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to run it through here. It's easier to run through if you have an angle. So I'm going to take my ribbon and run it through right now before I insert my pocket. I'll go through here. And then again here. That's not much of a angle. All right. I may have cut my ribbon too short, but that's all right. We'll get it figured out. And then I'm going to attach this down here. So I can pull my backing off now. Keeping my ribbon out of the way. And I'm just kind of lining it up right on that green. The pocket edges are lining up with that green mat above. And now that it's down, it'll be a little easier to tie my bow. If you want a bigger piece, you can certainly make a bigger one. I cut mine extremely small, but that's okay. I don't mind. Kind of makes a pretty little bow there. Dainty and all. And I'll frou-frou it in a few minutes, but there's my little bow. And then we're going to stick another sticker on. And this one's going to go down here. And we've got a nice piece of linen paper here that we're going to round the corners. We're going to stick a sticker to that. Let's put it in this pocket like so. And put on there happiness. And then put a little green heart to boot. So we have our little pocket cap here. And we have our pocket cap in the back. And we have our ribbon attachments for the front of the book so that we can bind it together. And I'm going to go ahead and clean off my space here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in the ends of these two ribbons so that it won't continue to fray. There we go. And then trim that. And we'll decorate the front cover and spine and the back, and we'll be done. So we've got our book together. Isn't that great? I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot though, because I don't want my ribbon in the way while I do my covers, and I don't need inside of it again. Having a hard time holding it and then tying it tight. Okay, so that's got our book. Isn't that awesome? It looks fantastic. So, for our cover, okay, I cut a pretty yellow piece to go here. Another pretty yellow piece for the back. And then on the side, I had to piece it on the spine. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out by adding this pretty piece here to the front cover. I'm going to use glue. We're almost done, guys. Another 5 minutes and we're through. I'm going to put this here, making sure my words are not upside down. Okay, make sure you got it nice and even. Good. Smooth that out. Good. Now I want you to flip it over. Do the same thing on the back side. That's your back cover. Okay, we're going to do the back. Again, make sure the writing is in the right direction and cover that one. Now for your end piece. For this end piece, I had to use 2 smaller pieces here because I didn't have one piece that was the same size. But you aren't going to see them, so you can easily cut yours to fit in one piece if you wish, or you can piece it like I'm going to, as I'm going to do here. The finished size for that is 2 7/8 by 7 1/2. So 2 pieces together will make that. So I'm going to quickly cover this spine. I'm getting all my plaid pieces over with. So they're out of the way. And I'm going to do this one as well. I'm not too worried about whether or not they match because I'm going to cover it. So it really doesn't matter to me. And then we'll put this one a little higher right there. See, I don't even have enough to completely cover that. I'm good though, as long as it's straight. And that piece was not perfectly straight, so let me get it straight. There we go. All right, now, on the spine, I'm going to take this decorative piece of paper here, and I'm going to attach it like this. You can pop this up, or you can glue it flat. I'm going to glue mine flat. And then I'm just going to adhere it right here. See why I wasn't worried about whether or not it was straight, or if they match perfectly, you won't be able to see it. And then I took a sticker and I attached it right here. So I'm going to take that sticker and I just tore my sticker and we're going to attach it right in the middle there. Doesn't that make a pretty spine? Love it. So we're finished with the back, finished with the spine, and now for the front. You're going to take the yellow mat that came in your kit, 5 5/8 by 5 1/2, and we're going to be mounting it to the front of this. But before you do that, what I want you to do is take this from the 6 by 8 pieces of paper, and you cut this out across the top and through here, but leave this little butterfly attached at that wing. You can cut it out to leave that attached. And this is going to be 5 3/8 by 7 1/2, I believe. Well, I cut mine a little smaller than that, 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. So let me make that change right now. 5 1/4 by 5 1/2 on the 1/4 by 1/4 high. All right, by 5 1/2. Okay. All right, that helps me a little bit. Make sure we do it right. And then I'm going to attach it to this yellow mat. Doesn't that pop really well? It does, doesn't it? So now I'm going to glue that down in place onto the yellow. And then I'm going to pop the yellow panel up on the front. So I'm going to glue this down to here. Has a narrower margin than the front, or than the top and the bottom by a hair. Oh, that looks great. Love it. And then I'm going to pop that up. So I'm going to take some mounting tape again. I don't know where my big one is. We'll use this one. There we go. And we'll just anchor this bad boy down. I'm very generous with the mounting foam because I like it to stay nice and flat. And this really helps a great deal when you put the mounting foam on it. I do have 12-inch wide mounting foam, and that works wonders. But it's not something readily available to most people. All right, and then I'm going to take a little piece and put it under my butterfly. If I can get a little piece to go on there. All right. Now, burnish that down. And take all my backings off. You can do a better and neater job than what I just did. But this video is run really long. Now, I'm going to put this on the front of my book. Oh, I love it. Very pretty. And then you have some little yellow embellishments. So you can add an embellishment. You can add them. I'm going to put 2 up here in this corner. Like that. And then there should be 2 more in your packet that are a little larger, and we're going to take those. I'm trying to get them out of my packet now. I had some laying here and I used those to start with, and then I'm going to place these down here in the bottom. And there we have it, guys. So let's take a final look. Your book is now complete. You've got your spine, front and back. You've got your ribbon closure. You've got your pocket caps with page 1, page 2, page 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll stick all my little embellishments back in and my cards and have it absolutely beautiful. Well, I've enjoyed having the video with you today, guys, and I'm looking forward to you seeing the next kit, which is a gorgeous recipe book for your family. So I can't wait till next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.